Hi everyone, this is Sadie with Maryville Arts District. Today we're just going to do a quick video with comparing gold acrylic paints, not the name brand Golden acrylic paints, but gold, the color paint. So I use metallic gold paint in a lot of my original artwork, and I get people ask me a lot what brand to use. So I'm going to be comparing several different brands, some of which I've tried before. One of them is kind of my tried and true that I use all the time. And then some of these are cheaper acrylics, which just means that they're thinner. So we have 3 heavy body ones, which are going to be thicker. And then we have 4 that are really, really thin. Now, I also want to kind of specify that this isn't a rating. I'm not rating these from best to worst, because what I've found with these paints is that just because it doesn't work for one thing, it may work for something else. So for example, I use my heavy body Master's Touch acrylic with whenever I want really, really bold color that's very vibrant and very saturated, and then I'll use a brand like Folk Art, which is cheaper and thinner, whenever I just want like a glaze or an accent. So what I have here is kind of my my sample, which I just have the brands listed on the right side here, and then with my paintbrush I'm going to take a sampling and do like a swatch over the black line here to show you guys how translucent the paint is, how translucent the color is, and basically to see how much it covers the black, because I feel like that's a really good example of knowing what you're buying whenever you buy some of these. Because if you buy, you know, a cheaper tiny tube like this, then more than likely it's going to be thinner, which is fine, but you don't want to not know what you're going to get out of that product. So hopefully by watching this, you guys can kind of learn which brand is better for your product, or for the project that you're working on. So I also want to mention a couple of just things to be aware of whenever you're picking out gold paint. So I am going to be testing the sparkly gold paint today, just to show you guys what it looks like. We use this a lot in our acrylic art classes, just because people are, you know, fans of sparkles and like to have that additional, you know, aspect to their creative expression and their projects. But the thing to know about these, so this brand is Folk Art. This is Folk Art's glitter paint. What to be aware of whenever you get a paint like this is that it is paint medium with glitter in it. It doesn't have actual pigment, and you'll see what I mean in a second. This paint costs, I mean, normally it's below $2, but sometimes you can get brands like this on sale at your craft store or online, to where it's like 50 to 80 cents for a little tube like this. So I'm going to show you what it looks like whenever we put it in our palette here. Now you'll notice that this particular bottle does not have a squeeze tube, like it doesn't have a little hole from which the paint comes from. So I have to kind of squeeze it out of this hole here. Which I don't know if this was a defect or not, and this particular bottle just didn't come with one. I think it's kind of strange, but I don't know why they wouldn't have that squeeze, but mine doesn't. So that's what it looks like coming out of the tube. And you can see that whenever you first get it out of the tube and the sparkles are all clustered together, it looks like it could have pigment to it, but it actually doesn't, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Now, you'll also see whenever you see this at the store, I got this at Hobby Lobby, you'll see this at the store, and there will be a lot of different colors of this Folk Art glitter paint. And again, that gives the impression that there are different pigments. It's all just different colored glitter in clear medium, which the clear medium kind of is almost like glue, but since there's no pigment making up the paint, it's just glitter and medium, this will take longer to dry than normal acrylic. You can see it's very thick because of the glitter. So down here where it says sparkle, it's Folk Art, that's the brand here, of sparkle paint. I'm just going to lay that on top of my black line here so that you guys can see there's no pigment in it at all. It's literally just golden sparkles of various sizes. That has been put into a paint form so that you can spread it with a brush. And that's all that one is, which, you know, if you're wanting something like fairy dust or, you know, something to, you're literally just wanting to add sparkles, then this would be a great option for you. But if you are wanting the color gold and you bought this, you would be pretty disappointed. And that's why I'm saying I'm not rating these, because this is good for one thing, but for something else, it's not what you're looking for. But if you did get this, something that you can do is you can take one of these other brands, like this or something, and you can lay it down, let it dry, and then put the sparkles on top of it, and then it will be gold with extra sparkles, which is you know, a really popular thing for people to do who really like to be extra with their colors. And I have my water off to the side here. I am washing my brush out between each go. And I'm going to be testing these from least expensive to most expensive. So like I said, I'm kind of testing these smaller bottles first because they're going to be your cheaper ones, and they also tend to be smaller in size and everything, and thinner. So the next brand we're going to try is Craft Smart. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, I got it at Michael's. I don't know if they have it at Hobby Lobby or not, or if it's a Michael's brand. But I actually have not tried this brand before. I haven't tried Craft Smart. I haven't tried their gold. And I'll let you see that coming out in the palette. So it's a pretty rich color. It's just not got like a lot of sparkles in it. It is just the color gold. Also, something else to be aware of with this test is that I could not find the exact same tint of gold in all of the brands. So there are different hues of gold that you can get. So you need to make sure that you're getting one that best matches your project or in the color that you're wanting to do. Again, this is Craft Smart, and I'll show you that logo one more time. We're trying 6 today. We're trying 6 individual brands, and this is Craft Smart. Craft Smart I got for under $2, but again, a lot of times at these craft stores or online, you can get a coupon, or you can get it half off, or even more off than that. Buy one, get one free or something, and get them for under $1. I've seen them for 50 or 75 cents before. So here's Craft Smart, and again, I'm doing the same test and just putting it over that black line, and it's actually covering pretty well for one of the cheaper brands. And something else about gold paint that you guys will notice is that it dries differently. So whenever it dries, the effect of it will be different, because it will have the shininess to it and the sheen. So there that is. So that would make like a good glaze or a good overlay. This is something maybe you could do one coat of this and then put the sparkle paint on top of. But you would definitely need several coats of it to get a very cohesive color. But it's not too bad, again, for the price. It is sparkly and it is gold. I'm gonna wash out my brush here, and then we're gonna do another one that I haven't tried yet. I found this brand, again, I use Folk Art a lot. You can kind of see the brand there. I use that a lot, but Folk Art makes several different types of paint. So depending on like here's a good example. Here is folk art and it has a diamond on the top. That tells you that it's a metallic. And then this is the folk art glitter and it has a glittery sticker on top, which tells you that it's a glitter paint. So a lot of times you can kind of tell what it's for and how they're different from each other, but these are all gold. This is brushed metal folk art. I have not tried this one at all before. It's a darker gold, but I saw brushed metal and I thought that maybe, ooh, that is really dark. Thought maybe it would be like a richer color and that it could be one of the smaller ones like this that would be thicker. So we'll see. Thicker or more pigmented. Then I'm just going to do the same process and cover up that black. Wow. So yeah, that has pretty good coverage. Wow, wow. Yeah, so that would be a really good one if you wanted a really pigmented gold color. If you wanted something really pigmented but maybe a little bit cheaper. Again, this little bottle here was maybe about $2 at the most at a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Those are the ones we have around here. Some people have access to like Blick and Arteza.com. You can get these online too. Jerry's Artorama is one that's near here, but not quite really close to me where I can go there a lot. But I got these at a mixture of Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's. Folk art you can get at Walmart, but they may not have all the specialty things like this. So if you wanted like a specialty version like this, then you would want to go to a craft store. But if you just want a basic gold color of folk art, which we're about to try in a minute, then you can get it at Walmart. Okay, gonna do my brush real quick. So here's another version of folk art. This is a big bottle, but you can get this same color in a smaller bottle, again, for no more than about $2. This big bottle, 8 fluid ounces, it was probably like $4.99 to $6.99 or something like that, but this is a lot of paint, guys. I'll let you see that coming out of the tube. Okay. So I think this looks, again, I'm seeing it in person. I think this looks a bit more pigmented than the Craft Smart. So far, the Craft Smart is the one that is the most translucent other than the Sparkle, but the Sparkle we're not really counting. I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like so that you don't make the mistake of getting it thinking it's something else. So this is just the plain folk art, kind of their basic gold color, and we'll see how it covers. Not bad. You can see through it a little bit more than with the brushed metal. But I think yeah, that would make a better glaze. I would do at least 2 layers of that. And the color isn't as gold. It's a little duller in color than Arteza. Also keep in mind that you may want to use these different hues and these different effects with different color theory and color composition and stuff too. So if you're wanting a lighter gold, then maybe go with folk art. If you're wanting a brighter gold, maybe go with Craft Smart, but the difference between the two is not that drastic. So the next one we're going to try, I'm going to show you guys another thing that you want to look out for, okay? So this is the brand Artist Loft, which is a Michael's brand. So this is their gold paint, but Artist Loft also makes yellow ochre. And that's what that looks like. So as you can see, they're both kind of a gold color. So make sure whenever you're in the store shopping and you're looking for golds that you don't get yellow ochre, which is, again, it's another really awesome, very useful color. but make sure you don't get yellow ochre instead of gold. Make sure it says gold, and kind of, you should be able to see that kind of sheen to it. But look how similar like this color is to the label on this. So, I mean, you can really easily see how someone might make the mistake of getting this instead of getting actual gold paint. But hey, something else that you could do is you could put this down and then put the sparkles on top of it. And then it would appear more gold. But again, if you got this expecting this, you would be pretty disappointed. So read the labels. But this is the next one we're going to try, is Artist Loft, and it's not open yet. I have not tried Artist Loft yet. I haven't tried their gold paint. I'm going to let you see that coming out of the tube. But this is heavy body, so I'm expecting it to be thicker, and you'll be able to see the difference. Okay, so right away, I can tell a difference in person, that these coming out of the tube, they seem to have less like little sparkles inside of them. This one looks like it has a few more little sparkles inside of it, and it's thicker. See how it holds its shape, whereas these kind of have created a pool. This one has held its shape. That's how you can tell the difference between a heavy body and a thinner body. But this one was more expensive. So this is about $4.99 for 4.6 fluid ounces. But because you don't have to do as many layers with the heavier body acrylics, you might actually save money depending. But you know, if you're wanting, you know, the effect of a heavy body, but you buy something like folk art, you're going to have to use a lot more of the folk art paint and in a lot more layers to get the effect of it. So are you really saving money or not? So this is Master's Touch, or actually, sorry, I skipped one. Artist Loft is up here. So here's Artist Loft. So right away, I'm a little disappointed in the pigment. I thought that it would be a more drastic, a thicker pigment. But if you look closely at it, it's got more individual sparkles in it. Like if I do it just by itself over here, like really thinly, you can see the little bitty individual sparkles. So it's a bit more sparkly, but it's not a really thick pigment. It doesn't cover the black completely. So you would need to do at least 2 layers of that one if you were wanting the color gold. Okay, so now this is the one that I use the most, and you can see here it has the price on it. It's $5.99. This is Master's Touch or Fine Touch. Those are both Hobby Lobby brands. You can only get them at Hobby Lobby or on Hobby Lobby's website. This is the one that I use all the time, that people are like, what is it that you're using? You know, and they think it looks great. But I will say that a lot of times I do at least 2 layers of even Master's Touch, even though it's a heavier body. I'll let you see that coming out of the tube. And again, it's a heavier body. And look how thick that is compared to the other heavy body acrylic, Artist Loft. It's thick. This stuff is really thick. Now Hobby Lobby will have brands, or they will have sales where they have drastic sales on their own brands. So again, those brands are Master's Touch or Fine Touch, and you can get these. See, this is antique gold also. That's also the color that's being used if anyone's interested in that. For like buy one, get one free, or half off, 50% off for this thing. And it lasts a while because, again, it's thicker, so you don't have to use as much of it. But I haven't done this test with it, so we'll see how it holds up in comparison to these others. So Master's Touch is here. That's performed about as I would expect it to. And right away you can see, okay, so here are our heavy bodies. And here are the looser body ones. So far the one with the best coverage is actually the Folk Art Brushed Metal, which is one of your cheaper brands. But it's just specialized to be very, very metallic. And look, this down here is still sticky. Remember I said it would take longer to dry because it's not got pigment to make up some of its ratio. It's still sticky. But that is Master's Touch. Which I think in comparison, it is better in comparison to Michael's brand, Artist Loft. But I know some people don't want to support Hobby Lobby. So if you were someone who would rather use Michael's, then you could honestly just do an extra coat of Artist Loft and get the same effect. I do like Artist Loft a lot too. Okay, now this is the one I have not tried. This is a heavier body that I have not tried before as well, and it is open. Right away I can tell it's a lighter color. Liquitex is one that a lot of acrylic artists swear by and really, really push and advocate for. So I'm excited to see how this stands up to the others, especially considering I can tell it's a lighter color. It's about $1 more than Master's Touch. It's maybe $6.99. Oh, that is thick though. That is really thick. And I'm pouring out a little bit more than I normally would so that you guys can see the consistency really well. But that's, I mean, that's as thick. That's every bit as thick as Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby. But it's just a lighter color, so I don't know. It may still show some black through. But we are going to see. So I think that it is a bit more see-through than Master's Touch, but I really love the color. Again, if you wanted to go for this one and just do 2 layers of it, it would still be really, really nice. But that is about what we have there. I'm going to see if any of these are dry. So Craft Smart is still drying, because dry time is something that a lot of times people like to take into consideration. Folk Art Brushed Metal is still drying. Master's Touch is still wet, and Artist Loft is still wet, I can tell. So Folk Art dries the quickest of all of them, so I could go ahead and do another layer if I wanted to, but instead I'm going to take some of my sparkle paint and put that on over it so that you guys can see what that would look like since it's dry. So if you wanted a bit more pizzazz, a bit more sparkle, and see from here you're really just kind of moving those sparkles around. It's really even, it's not hardly even paint. It's just brushable sparkles. Kind of adds another little effect to it. So those are the 6 that I tried. Again, that's what I had access to here in my community for people to try. So I guess my reflection on this is that price isn't always a reflection of what you should consider. So don't assume that the most expensive brand, which was Liquitex, is going to be the thickest and the most pigmented, because although it was pretty, we would need a couple layers of it to cover the black, or to have a very matte color, even compared to Folk Art, which was way cheaper. So hopefully this helps you guys and gives some perspective on the different gold paints that are available. I would have really liked to try Arteza and Golden along with this, but unfortunately I couldn't get my hands on them in time. And I think that 6 is enough to try, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not including the sparkles. I think 6 is enough to try all at once in one video anyway, just for watchability's sake. But as far as what I'm going to use, I think I'm going to definitely hold on to the Folk Art Brush Metal. That was a really kind of really a neat thing for me to try here and experience today. I don't know that I would have tried it if not for this experiment. Master's Touch is still really good, but I think Artist Loft and Liquitex, if you're looking for heavier body. So as the Master's Touch is drying, the color, like the actual color, even though it covered a bit more of the black than the Artist Loft, it's not, the color as it dries isn't as bright as Artist Loft. So, I mean, as it dries, it's going to change and give different effects. But all of these are really quite comparable to one another. So you can choose whatever brand that you like and just do two coats of it. And then Craft Smart I would say that would be the one that I would be least likely to try again, just because it was really streaky going on, and the pigment wasn't very vibrant. It's still wet, so I would have to wait a long time to be able to do a second coat on it. So that would be the one that I was not really that impressed with. But the others I think performed quite well. Again, you would just want to use folk art for something different than you would use Artist Loft or Liquitex. So again, I hope this helped you. You're welcome to give us suggestions for something else to try in the comments. We ask that you share and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And we thank you so much for watching.